So thank you everybody so much for joining today for our monthly Hedera Engineering Insights webinar. My name is Brady. I'm on the product marketing team here at Hedera, and today we're going to be joined by Simi, who is a product manager at Hedera Hashgraph, and Donald Thibeau, who's also a product manager as well. Today, they're going to be sharing some of the latest and greatest engineering related activities at Hedera. Some of those things include the Hedera Services Code release. So .15 of Hedera Services Code that was released on the testnet on June 17th. Is going to be released on mainnet in July. We've got some functionalities that came with that, including a reconnect feature, performance improvements, entity lifetime extension, and then also talking about some of the Hedera improvement proposals that are coming up that are related to specifically the Hedera token service that we're very excited about. If you haven't checked out Hedera improvement proposals, we highly recommend checking those out. It's the best way for the community to connect with the Hedera Governing Council and Hedera to propose new functionalities, new features. A lot of different members of the community have participated in that, and it's brought about a lot of new functionalities that are going to be very useful down the road. So with that, we've got a Q&A at the end as always. Feel free to drop in your questions into the Q&A box that we've got at the bottom of the Zoom channel, and we'll answer those at the end. And I'm going to pass things off to Simi to kick things off. Thanks again.
Thanks, Brady. Hi, everyone. I'm Simi. I hope everyone's having a wonderful day. I'm just going to go over some of the recent updates that we have. The first being the Hedera Services 0.15.1 testnet and upcoming mainnet update. So in this release, we had a few changes, one of which being the Hedera Get Account Records now returns the actual list of records for the account that is being queried for. So in the past here, Get Account Records would return an empty list of records for that account that was being queried. So now you should be able to see a list of records that were created for the account that was being queried for. In addition to that, we did add the happy operations for NFTs. So if you do go visit the Hedera Protobuf repo, you should be able to see all the new happy operations for NFT support. In the next release for 0.16.0, we're targeting to enable those operations on the network. The other thing that we did was remove the CSV file format for account balances. So here, this is maybe more reference to mirror node operators, but we introduced a new file format and some additional protobuf messages to parse those files. And lastly, there was a maximum entity lifetime for, I think, about almost like 300 billion years. And that was modified to a century in this release. So that is the max limit for an entity expiring. So that's what happened in the 0.15.1 release. Donald, anything that I'm missing there? Nope. Okay, cool.
All good. Keep.
Okay. And then in the upcoming release for 0.16.0, we will be adding HIP 17 and HIP 18. So HIP 17, as I mentioned, is the enablement of the NFT operations. And then also HIP 18, which is the custom token service fee, which allows you to add custom fees when you're creating tokens and transferring those over. And this will be scheduled for the month of August. And the last thing that I wanted to cover was a couple of the upcoming changes. So we did add this changelog section to the doc site, and this is an effort to cover any upcoming changes that are going to occur over a period of time. So the first one being the account balance CSV file format removal, And then following that, we have the SDK v1 deprecation with all the information that you need, along with a link to the blog post. And then lastly, the address book protobuf deprecation. So in this upcoming change, we have deprecated some fields and added some new fields. What will happen in the November release is that we will no longer be populating these deprecated fields, and you would need to migrate over to using the new protobuf message to parse the address book files. And I think that's all that I had for the updates today. Anybody have any other comments? Okay, cool. Maybe I'll just pass it back over to Brady.
All right, thanks so much, Simi, for sharing that. If anyone has any questions about what was presented or anything else that's even engineering related or Hedera related, please feel free to drop it into the Q&A box and we'd be happy to answer those questions for you. Maybe we'll wait just another 30 seconds to see if anybody has any additional questions or comments. Okay, it doesn't look like anyone has any other questions. If you do have any questions, you know, as most folks know, we've got engineering resources in the Hedera Discord, as well as a really helpful community of people that can help out with development and Hedera SDK and the Hedera API and things of that nature there. So feel free to join and we'd be happy to help you. Oh, it looks like we do have a question that came through from Drew Binns. Is there any updates on the roadmap for 2021 to 2022?
Yeah, sure. Happy to take that one. I think I'll point to two things where you can stay up to date into those roadmaps. At the highest level, the public roadmap at hedera.com/roadmap updates pretty frequently as new changes and items get added. If you want a more granular visibility into what's getting built, prioritized, and what the requirements actually are, all of that's now being driven through the Hedera improvement proposal process. So for instance, two of the HIPs Simi mentioned around pricing for the Hedera token service tokens, as well as others like HIP 17 for NFTs on HTS, are also being defined in that Hedera improvement proposal process. So that's where you get visibility. And then of course, all of the projects that we build are going through the open source repositories for the actual issues and implementation, which you can keep on an eye on there.
Awesome. Thank you, Donald. And with that, I think we'll close things out. Really appreciate everybody joining today, and we will see you at the next Engineering Insights webinar. Take care.